Good evening, everyone. Welcome to True Ball Banter. This is our second episode, and we are recording this on a Friday. And we have right here on my right is Sashi,
Hey guys, I'm back.
and to my left is our local Liverpool fan. Sorry, man. Don't insult me. It's our diehard United fan. Please introduce yourself, man.
Alright, Gabriel, anti-Liverpool, always like that.
Well, it's a good start. That's a good start.
Okay, so we are back here in our second episode of True Ball Banter. So this just to keep you guys a brief overview of what happened over the midweek. So we had few good games over the midweek. So I just want to maybe just bring you guys up to speed. United played Nottingham Forest.
Yes.
Any of you watched the game?
Unfortunately, it was too late, too early in the morning. But I watched the highlights.
Actually, I thought United would get a result because I didn't expect Nottingham Forest. I can't believe that they're still keeping this going. I thought at some point they would run out of steam.
Correct. Well, Nottingham Forest was very consistent throughout the whole season. They put in a win or they just put in some gutsy performance.
Yeah.
Now, from what I'm seeing, Nottingham Forest, they brought in, I think technically about 13 players last season. And all those 13 players are basically all hunger-driven players. So those players have a point to prove, and they came at the right club where the manager has a very good expectation.
Yeah, it's so surprising because Nuno is such a defensive manager because it didn't work out for him in Spurs, right?
Yeah.
And now you see how his teams perform. It's actually surprised lah. But yeah, I mean, back to United, it was a happy day for Liverpool fans to see them continue to thrive under. But yeah, my opinion is I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights. I saw United had chances. The goal they conceded was so embarrassing because just on the counter attack from a corner kick, and I think Onana had a good game actually. They had chances to score. Maguire had last minute chance. So it's not like they're playing badly and not creating chances, but I feel there's an over-reliance on Bruno Fernandes because I remember Liverpool used to be like that. They were overly rely on Gerrard.
Exactly, true.
Gerrard needed to do everything, and I feel for Bruno. He's in the era of United where they are struggling, and he's the only one. So there's a lot of criticism on him because of his style, his captaincy. And Roy Keane talked about him. I'd say that he's not fit to be captain and all that stuff. So I feel it's a bit unfair on him. He's doing everything he can. I mean, other players need to step up. So
Actually, being in Bruno's shoes, for him to continue to stay with the club, which is very struggling, is also a big thing already. There were some positives. Actually, we were very wasteful in front of goal. And especially Garnacho had few chances. He could have just killed the game.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do something. And I look at Amorim's tactics. Even Casemiro also was doing quite okay, actually. He tweaked a bit, even though he's quite strict with his formation and all. But he tweaked a bit because he didn't have the players he had. And and then overall, okay, even this guy, the player he bought, Patrick Togu, also is doing well, actually.
the left back.
Yeah, the left wing back.
But I felt that Patrick Dogo could have done better. Masroni could have done much better. They could have just tried to actually create a fall or something, falling down. It's okay to give away a free kick. But they gave away a goal.
All those years back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Just take one for the team, right?
yeah, and unfortunately, we couldn't finish off our chances. I think Ruben will have to definitely look into bringing a striker from Sporting, Victor.
Grocas as well. Right?
Yes, of course. I think we need him.
I think not necessarily we also can get him because he's actually looking for Champions League football.
Unfortunately, yes.
If you guys win the Europa League, maybe.
And I was looking at the reports also. He was vouching more for Arsenal compared to United because I think they offer more on Champions League.
I don't know why he goes for Arsenal when he got no trophies at all.
Well,
it's about progression, bro.
It's about Champions League football, man.
And
Liverpool has that. Nottingham Forest might have it also.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's the point because if you look at United, the last, let's say 5-10 years or maybe even 5 years every player has gone there has become worse.
Yes.
So which player is going to feel like they can go to United and actually progress as a player? All except for Bruno is the only one that is anomaly there. He's gone to United and he's he's the one like carrying the club. The rest of the players have gone and become worse. When they leave, they suddenly have new life. It's almost the pressure and the weight of the badge and the expectations and the stadium is just too much.
Coming back to your point, even like we over the midweek or so, Aston Villa, Marcus Rashford scored his goal as well.
Yeah,
And
it's like a weight is lifted off his
and,
shoulders.
and even Morgan Phillips also, his striking partner, I guess, also said that he brings a lot of positive aura to the club, and he's very he's not the type of person that United was depicting him to be.
Understood.
So it was good lah, because I think like even in the interview that Amorim, he posted this question: how is Rashford and also few other players who left like Anthony, even to go as far as Scott McTominay, he's doing very well in Italy.
Yeah, of course.
So the question was, and Amorim answered perfectly also in a way. He's saying that the weight of the club is too heavy.
Yes, I definitely agree with that.
And the spotlight was too
Yes, I mean, since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, I feel like upon every managers and every player that comes to the club, the weight of the shirt is too heavy for them. Only a selected few have actually performed. Bruno is one of them, and apart from that, we can't really see much. Maybe Diego Dalot, and Mascherano was pretty quick in getting his feet on the right
You're
side.
talking about post-Ferguson.
Yeah, post-Ferguson.
Then what about Pogba, man?
Pogba, one of the worst. Pogba, to be honest, I think about Paul Pogba, I think he could have really become a great player. Unfortunately, he chose too much off the pitch lifestyle. His focus was too much on everything off the pitch. It cost him actually. He could have become really a great footballer for us. It just didn't work out.
He was a good
Yeah,
He was
footballer in
good.
Juventus.
He's a World Cup winner, man.
Yeah, he performed well in
Shows
Spain.
that he chooses when he wants to perform, which is very bad for a footballer because I don't think they deserve to be that way.
Okay.
I'm just curious, just the Pogba part. Imagine Carlo Ancelotti managing him. I feel Ancelotti is the kind of manager that can get the best out of maverick players.
Yes, I agree.
Pogba
with
is a maverick player. You see, if any manager is managing Mbappe, for example, it's going to be very difficult. These are like maverick players. I think only a few managers can manage
you.
them.
Actually,
the
coming
best.
back to your point, you're right, because at the start of the season, Vinny Jr. and also Mbappe didn't do
They
so
had a lot
well.
of issues, yep.
They were running at the same place. They
Very true.
were asking for the ball at all the same places, and I think now they were gelling quite well. So they had a good understanding. I think overall Ancelotti played a very bold move. I would say that managing those characters.
Yeah, true.
You need a very good top class manager like his character. Actually, it's good to have a maverick players. Sometimes you never know.
Yeah.
You need those players to actually.
Yeah, true.
You just imagine like United now, we need someone who can just spark. And Bruno, to me, he's not the person who can light a spark. He can create chances for you, but he's not the one.
To be honest, Bruno, we have seen many times. Times where when the team does badly, he just goes missing totally. There are games where
7-0 now.
He's
7-0 was
man.
that was a bitter pill to swallow. Until now, I can't forget that. But yeah,
Just FYI, guys, we watched the
that
game.
is one of the examples of the worst. I would say the dark side of Bruno Fernandes.
So you watched the game,
Yeah, I was watching this guy. That's the biggest. I regretted going to his house. But now,
thought United were going to win, bro.
I was
He
thinking
was so
we're gonna-
confident he went to the Lions then.
Yeah, I thought we will win. Fortunately, but yeah, I mean, back to the topic is Fernandes. But I'm seeing now some improvement in him. He's trying to show a bit more. Ever since Roy Keane's comment surfaced, I'm seeing Bruno Fernandes now showing more responsibility as a captain. Not much all those play actings and falling down and screaming like a girl.
Girl.
I didn't know you were hearing the screams and all.
Okay, let's
Okay.
let's just wrap up on United and we'll talk about it a bit later on in
Alright.
the segment. And also we got a good result in Liverpool, man. They didn't play well,
Yeah, actually, they played well. I watched the game.
and they had a lot of controversies with
Yeah, what is the game, man?
Yeah, so number one, there's the red card incident.
Tarkowski, bro.
Should have been red card.
Yep.
The other one was the goal that they scored actually is offside because
It looks very offside, right?
because he's interfering with play. Otherwise, Tarkowski clears the ball. He's in offside position. They say that he's not interfering in play, but because he's there, he's interfering in play. So I feel that is a wrong decision.
But if you were to follow the old conventional offside rules, he's technically offside, right?
I'm not really sure whether the old rules
Because you
suggest-
see, the new rules is, I don't know. There's a lot of layers.
Whether you're interfering with
Yeah.
play, that's from my understanding, that is the new rules. If you're not interfering with play, if you're not showing like you're going to attempt to get the ball, but if a player, if VAR or the referees have played the game, they know you don't have to show that you're going to play the ball. The fact that you are there,
The presence,
the
right?
presence there affects the decision of the defender
Yes.
or what he does. Because if he's not there, he just let it roll to the keeper.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So he stumbles and fumbles a clearance because of his presence there. Even if he's not taking the ball.
He has an added pressure to clear the ball. Right?
Yeah, true.
So I feel that's a wrong decision. But overall, I think Liverpool will be the better team.
But I think at Liverpool at this point of time, the points is the most important.
Yeah, be the worst team and you still get 3 points. That's all that matters.
But there was nervousness in the stadium. You could feel it. I think because Liverpool have slipped up before. Big time.
Come operations, yes.
They have slipped up before when they had big leads.
Yes.
So I think there's this tension around. But I think Arne Slot is a great manager to have at this point because he sort of doesn't buy into the pressure. He's very chill because maybe it's his first season. He doesn't have anything on it. If it's like Klopp in charge now, he'll be very emotional. He'll be super emotional. He'll be like, I think it feeds the players. Now the players see Arne Slot there. He's very tactical, a bit like Rafa Benitez, lack of emotion. Maybe there's a downside to that. But at this point, when it's like a pressure cooker, I feel like
But why are you saying that Liverpool is under pressure when they've already won the league before?
yeah, it's not. It's just that we have been in positions where we have thrown away leads.
Yes.
And because last season fell off because last season so-called quadruple Klopp's final season, we fell off the cliff in March, April. These critical points I usually see Man City doing very well. Well, this season maybe not so, but March, April, May is where you need to like go to the fifth gear or the fourth gear, fifth gear. It's almost they are limping to the title now. But there was a really good interview with Van Dijk and Michael Owen. So Michael Owen asked him post-match. It's like,
They roasted him back, right?
yeah, he asked him like, does it feel like it's like not the season, like it's bittersweet a little bit because you're just ending up with the Premier League title? Then it's like, no. I think you need to change the narrative a little bit. Van Dijk gave that look like don't mess with me look. That doesn't mix. So I think there's the build up because start of the season you have to remember top 4 would have been success for us.
Yep.
And now that we're going to win the league,
Yeah.
we shouldn't downplay it just because we were in all the competitions.
Oh.
So it's good like Van Dijk as the captain, as the leader, he actually sets the tone.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget that we were not expected to win the
No,
league.
Van Dijk suggested the over.
Van Dijk is very
I can win it with Liverpool, not like you when the United will win.
Yeah.
If you could have done that, but I have a different opinion on the Owen winning the league.
Yeah.
Maybe we cover that separately. But
Yep.
as we wrap up the games, right? I think Chelsea now in top 4, which is
Correct.
whoa. Who would have thought that they won 1-0?
Yeah.
But honestly, Chelsea have so many players.
Yeah.
They should be there.
I was looking at the graph. Every position they have at least 3 players, bro.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
3 players, and where is Sancho fitting? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, the Sancho situation is because I think they've decided to buy the player from Brazil, from Sporting Lisbon, I think. So I think just Sancho is just
Which player is that?
I forgot his name now.
Oh yeah, the guy. The other target. The next CR7, so-called CR7.
Wow, I didn't know about this.
He's going to come in the
Well, he's
following.
going to on loan. He's
He's
going
going
to
to be coming in the following season. So the next season he'll be still spending his time in Sporting. So I think Chelsea they know they have enough players, so they
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
need him next season also.
Yeah. So as
Chelsea, a weird team.
the midweek games, I would say the only thing exciting now is the top 4.
What do you think about Saka's return, man?
Ooh.
Saka came, he scored.
Yeah, I think it's a little too late. A little bit. I feel bad for
Liverpool still
Arsenal.
have a game in hand, right?
And they have to play Arsenal also.
Correct. So it's
No,
equals-
no more game in hand. With 8 games to go.
8 games.
So we
games,
technically
four
only
more
have to win 4 more games.
4 more games. Wow.
So we can actually lose 4 games. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
We can
Like
afford
4
to
games,
lose
huh?
4 games.
So who are they playing next? Liverpool?
Fulham away.
And you do know, remember United playing against who?
City.
Yeah, not shitty, bro.
But now they are shitty, bro.
Yeah, the shitty thing.
Yeah, so those are the
looking forward
games.
we'll be looking forward to United versus City on the weekend, Sunday night.
I think the Premier League is pretty much wrapped up. You know,
Arsenal Everton will be the first kickoff tomorrow, 8:30.
Wow.
So we hope Arsenal can put the pressure on.
Now you're supporting Arsenal, okay? No?
So they're playing home or away?
Arsenal are playing, I think, home.
I think Everton's home.
Everton is
Everton
at home.
Everton
Arsenal
at
is
home.
playing away.
Wow.
Because there'll be Goodison Park is quite fiery now because their last
Correct.
season there.
So hope.
So hey guys, I know you're listening out there. This is not a United podcast. It's FYI.
Today we're just going to talk about United. We're going to be like the old Liverpool guys, always talk about the past and everything. So,
Yeah, where it went wrong.
yeah, so here we are now.
So here we are now talking about the past.
Yeah, hopefully in the present there's
What
something.
goes around comes around.
So we're just trying to see if there's a light in the end of the tunnel or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, tell us a little bit about
So
what today's
just
episode.
to bring it around the topic, so we're going to talk about United, the current state where we are at, how far have we fallen down, sadly, and how our current United squad going to be, and what does the future hold for us?
Okay, big questions.
Yeah. So just to take you guys as those who are maybe in the incubator for a few years who don't even know what's happening. United has been playing very well under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and they've been performing very well. And Ferguson as a whole, he has revitalized the whole club. From him coming into United, not having any trophies,
Yes,
any
exactly.
Premier League trophies, and now he already knocked the perch of Liverpool at that point of time.
Yeah.
So, and there's also another things that happened also during the last few years, Ferguson's era, which is the Glazers takeover, and the style of play where United was when the change of an era when Ferguson left.
Yes, exactly.
So when Ferguson left, there's a lot of things happened, and we sad to say we're still trying to find a phase where we're trying to find some consistency, not only on the managers but also the club as a whole. So just to start off, so what do you think about United dominance under Sir Alex Ferguson? Caps. I know you're already waiting. You are Sir Alex Ferguson right hand man.
Oh, I wish I was. I would have definitely helped him to find a football director first. Okay, actually, when I got the news that he was leaving, that was on 8th of May 2013.
You were
It was
crying
quite
already?
late. I found it quite, I was crying and I wasn't crying. But I was very depressed.
How old was he when he retired? Right?
Huh?
How old was he when he retired?
Thinking about what?
Okay,
70, 75, 76,
Yeah.
75, 76.
What year was that?
2013. Yeah, he was 75, I think. So, I didn't really know the flow of the managers that were chosen before Moyes. We always thought Moyes was the first choice until in his book Leading, that is published in September 2015, Ferguson actually revealed that he actually had 5 other managers before Moyes. Yeah, actually 4. I'm not sure who the 5th. But apparently, his first choice was exactly currently the best manager in the world, Pep Guardiola. Right? Pep was actually Ferguson's first choice, and according to his book Leading, he said that he phoned Ferguson actually called Pep Guardiola and then requested him to make a call back to him, and he did not return the call. And Ferguson just left it that way. And then second was actually Mourinho as a second choice. What surprised me about Mourinho is that he was actually available, but apparently he had given his word to Abramovich that he's going to go to Chelsea, and that Ancelotti has already agreed to take over at Madrid. So in that case, although there's a bit of confusion to this, because I remember a few months later after Moyes was appointed, a news came out saying that Mourinho was crying because he was not offered a United post.
How was this about to come back to that point?
Yes, actually, but it was also Klopp. Jurgen Klopp, out of all people, now we have lost him for good because he will never manage
You
United.
lost him for good, I think. He didn't die, bro.
But he didn't want to go to
No,
United.
he has died in the sense, the hope of him managing our club has died totally because he's now an ex-Liverpool manager, right? So, 10 years ago, he was also considered. What happened was he just signed a new contract at Dortmund. He was happy at Dortmund. Surprisingly, 1.5 years later, he decided to come to England. And then Louis van Gaal wanted to lead the Dutch at the 2014 World Cup. But surprisingly, 12 months later, he became the next United manager after Moyes. What disappointed me the most about the hiring of these managers, right, is there's no proper follow-up made or no proper search on the right successor for Ferguson. Ferguson is like more like Ferguson is left to just ask, and then finally when nobody was available, he went to Moyes, and Moyes just
But that, what do you expect him to do? Nobody's available.
let's just put it this way, like if Ferguson really persuaded him, do you think Mourinho would not?
But come on, at that point, why would Sir Alex Ferguson want to convince someone to manage
I
United?
agree with you because
There must be a draw.
the question is very simple. Why does it has to be Ferguson choosing his successor? Why can't the club choose the successor?
This is the problem because we have allowed Ferguson to reign 27 years in our club, and he has been given the green light to call all shots in the club. From top to bottom, he calls all the shots.
So do you think that's right?
No.
But it worked for you guys for so long.
It worked for us while Ferguson was around. Now that he's not around, and look at how much it cost us. He called the shot to manage Moyes. But anyway, I wouldn't say Moyes is a bad choice. Because why? Ferguson revealed later that he did not regret actually taking in Moyes. The only thing he regretted was that David Moyes chose not to keep his assistant, which was Mike Phelan at the time. And I think what he said makes sense because...
Just hold on a second. Hold on a thought. You were asking the question where why Ferguson was doing all the decision making, right? Because at that point of time, Ferguson created a legacy of he already has a winning mentality legacy. So that's why I think when Glazer took over, they just left him to do his part and everything. So he made everything. Even to they even said they even make the coffee lady, the tea ladies also.
Yes.
He even decide what menu he needs to create for the food and everything.
Yes.
So he's not a coach as in
It felt like United didn't have a plan. It all was hanging on this manager.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, as part of United are a business, right? They are a football club, but they have owners. If you're running a business, how can you run a business without future-proofing your business?
So I believe coming back to your point that Ferguson chosen his successors and all, but if you ask me personally, right, I feel like Glazers as a club owning the club, they should actually take on more hands-on experience. Maybe they would have went on the wayward side, thinking that because since Ferguson already built a legacy, so they thought that whatever he says will turn into goal, for example.
Yeah, true.
So I think that's the biggest mistake he did. And I think from there onwards, I think you would agree with me because now the club is evolving. It's not only United, every football club now has evolved.
Yes.
So they have a technical director, they have a director of football.
Yes.
So they have a CEO who only runs the operation side, and also they have like other operational activities all left. So
to delegate their tasks.
yes, delegate. So the role of a manager that comes in United has not need to take care of other things. Just have to be taking care of the coach only about the club. And if, let's say for example, if they want to buy a player. By right, it's supposed to be the director of football coming to you. You going to the director of football, okay, I need a left back. Then they say, okay, based on what our research has with the scouts and everything, okay, these are the players you have. Which are you think will be suited? Then you will make the final call, meaning you are the coach, you want to play as well. United realized it very late, if you ask me, because they tried with Moyes, they tried with Van Gaal, then they brought in Mourinho.
Yes.
You see, first they tried with Moyes because they wanted to groom someone.
Yeah.
But I think he was too early for him. In my opinion,
they could have groomed him. Just the sad part is they did not. Moyes should have been smarter to allow someone senior like Mike Phelan to be there. But Moyes wanted to change entirely the back room.
But looking at his point,
which was not wrong, but it was wrong for a person who actually has no pedigree, no experience in a big club to actually come there and try to, okay, I want everyone out, I'm bringing my people. I mean, you got to look at yourself in the mirror, Who are you actually?
Because when Ferguson came in, also he was a nobody.
No, Ferguson won a European Cup with Rangers.
No, he was not a Rangers, right? he was an Aberdeen player, man. He had a reputation, but you see, he's coming from a Scottish league, so you have to understand. They also given him a chance.
Yeah, the league, like, look at Arne Slot, came for Feyenoord, he won the title there, he won the cup there, but it's another level, bro. The Premier
All I say here is that Moyes has not won anything big, even at Everton. So for him to actually come and
So, but then still, again, I go back to Sir Alex Ferguson. Maybe there's nepotism going on, right? Because he's Scottish. It's like it's a professional courtesy.
it could be biased, yes.
There's a lot of biases going on. So you're right there. So I feel like was it the most smartest football decision, or is it a lot of emotion and friendship?
Yes.
So that's why, my point of view, at that point of time when Ferguson left, he can actually propose a few managers he wants to, but as a club owner,
Yeah, exactly.
you're supposed to say, okay, you are going to leave. Thanks for giving me your decisions. We will work on what we want to do. What's our direction for the next 10 years? Because you are owner of a club. At the end of the day, you want to make revenue.
Yeah.
So when you want to make a revenue, you have to make a decision. What leadership?
You gather input from Sir
Okay, now
Alex Ferguson.
actually,
Yeah.
our next key point we will be discussing about why the directors have failed. Yeah.
Okay, looking at this, to give you a bigger overview, all the managers that came after Ferguson, they were only there maybe 2 to 3 seasons.
Correct.
Can I say more than 3 seasons? There was not, right? Except for Mourinho, I think.
But let's put it this way. I think
Do you
the
think
managers
that
who
they
remain
didn't
more than one season are those who actually took United to the Champions League. So the following season, they failed to bring United to the Champions League, so they were sacked.
Okay.
So Moyes, 7th, what do you expect? That's a low. That's
Moyes
too
stayed
low.
a full season.
No, I mean when he was sacked, there was about 2 or 3 games left. United was 7th in the table.
He was sacked just before the end of the season.
Yeah, before the end of the season. Then Ryan Giggs took over for the last 2 games or something.
Wow.
And then they announced Van Gaal as a new manager. But it was quite messed up. It was quite messed up actually. But the moment they knew that they're out of the Champions League, they sacked him straight. The thing is, like I said, it takes 2 to clap. So in this case, it's Ferguson's fault for actually choosing maybe favoritism, biasness, and also Moyes' fault for being too arrogant not to allow someone more senior in the club to guide him actually.
Okay, coming back to your point, you're saying that Ferguson chose his successor, David Moyes.
Yeah.
You see, when you bring in a new manager, everyone has a set of players they want to. You see, okay, when you bring Moyes have their own style of play and also the players he wants.
Okay.
But the thing is, he was not given time. So in his case, I think he only brought in Fellaini, I guess. So there's not much to be blamed in that sense. Okay, then after that, you remember the manager decided for Van Gaal, right? So Van Gaal stayed for 2.5 seasons. Yep, correct. So when he stayed there, he brought in all his players.
Correct.
So he can decide what players he wants. You see, the thing, let me just bring you to the overview side. Moyes, and then Van Gaal, then Mourinho, then Mr. Botta, Eric Ten Hag. So all these players are just
After
2-3.
Mourinho, Solskjaer,
Yeah, Solskjaer, and then
Solskjaer, Ralph,
Ranieri.
and then
Ranieri, and then Ten Hag. So all these managers come in, they have different sets of style of play. They bring in their own players. You see,
Correct.
at the end of the day, when it came to even to a certain point, Ten Hag, he has most of the players are not of his also.
yeah, true.
All are legacy players. So that's bringing back to our next topic, I would like to say, because each managers that come in, they have their own expenses they want to bring in their managers. And you see, are they successful enough?
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
That's the question. So, of course, football is a result-based business. So if you don't win, you're out of the door.
Yes. Because under Ferguson's side, see the difference between when Klopp left and Ferguson left, but the big difference is that where in Klopp's time, when Klopp left, there was already so many people in charge of the football structure side. When Ferguson left, he's the one-man show running the whole club. So that's the reason why there was no proper people in place to actually analyze and bring in the right people.
Because of the way Sir Alex Ferguson left, do you think that affects his legacy?
No,
Because-
his legacy is he always.
I mean, think about it for a minute, because we always talk about Sir Alex Ferguson as probably the best Premier League manager of all time. He rebuilt so many United teams and went up against Wenger, Mourinho, Benitez. He went up against all the managers and he always came out on top. He always won all the 9 games.
True.
Nothing could affect his way of playing. He found a way to beat all the best teams. But then part of a manager's legacy is how you leave the club also. Because if let's say, I don't know lah, if let's say for the next 10 years United go on this still journey of finding themselves, they will win cup competitions here and there, but never really establishing themselves like dominant again.
Having an identity.
This would be like maybe we can see another Liverpool going 30 years without a title kind of thing happening, right? And you'll always look back at that manager that last won you the title, but you guys clearly mentioned management level, the transition was not managed well. What do you think Sir Alex Ferguson could have done to help that process before he leaves? That means, does he say, okay, bosses, I cannot be in charge of all the things anymore, you need to find other people in charge? Or does he say, okay, the next manager that comes in, I will mentor behind the scenes, nobody needs to know. I mentor because the transition I need to manage. What do you think could have done? What do you think Sir Alex Ferguson could have done to help his successor? Because you see how Klopp helped Arne Slot, right? He rebuilt the midfield, you know, and he sort of like made the way.
In my opinion, actually, what Ratcliffe came and he decided to end Ferguson's membership is ambassador membership thing and all. It looks like a sour note to everyone, but to me, it's actually a blessing in disguise because you know what, Ferguson has been in the shadow of United even when he left. So every manager that came is always like they basing back on Ferguson. So if you ask me I mean I really disagree with you in a sense because Ferguson should actually leave the club and he should go to the owners. Look, my time is already up, so I leave you guys in a winning state. So whoever comes in, we just have to what to do next. Just follow the whatever management style that you have. Try to build it in a new modern era where, because like I said, the new modern era is not about I'm being the manager and everyone has to go revolve around me.
Yeah.
So everyone, even you hear that even the grass cutting guy in the pitch also, he will purposely lay the grass higher. For those who the pass ball, the Arsenal players like to pass the ball. He will purposely leave the grass thick, so they cannot pass the ball properly. So everything has to revolve around him, man.
We all know that the Glazers took over from 2005, and what happened was, some people say that the Glazers also have a successful period of time where they were the owners when United won the double, and they won a few Premier League titles under Sir Alex Ferguson, but they failed to see the Glazers actually, when they took over, they were not involved at all in the football side of United. Okay, so Ferguson and David Gill were running the show at United until his retirement. And from what I understood is, Ferguson was only working closely with David Gill on football-related matters. So the Glazers were doing their money of getting United on the stock market and all those things. It was only until 2012 when Ed Woodward was chosen to take over as the CEO for the club. And that is when I realized the problem actually started, because Ed Woodward, if you look at his history, right, he is a chartered accountant investment banker, and he's been a close ally to the Glazers. In fact, he was the one who actually advised the Glazers to take over United while he was still at JP Morgan Chase. Alright, that was his firm. And he was the one actually who advised the Glazers to take over United, which means technically you could say Woodward and the Glazers had already had a plan to take over United. So now these two people, they are actually running United according to how they want it to run. So Woodward, it makes sense now why he never hired technical football people in the structure. Why? Because he was a close buddy with the Glazers. So every decision, he doesn't need a football director. He just has to go to Glazer and tell, I'm going to get this, I'm going to bring in that. And the Glazers will say, okay, we just pop in, go and do whatever you want, right? Of course, I don't deny the fact that Woodward is top-notch when it comes to off-the-pitch marketing the club, bringing in revenue. He is top class. I mean, he made us the most valuable club in the world in 2018-2019, despite not even being consistent in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's a skill.
That's a skill. But when it came to footballing matters, it was a disaster because most of his, we got into a lot of players and agents which were bad, affected our club, which really looked our club. One of it was Pogba's agent, Milo Raila. Alright, he has a bad reputation with a lot of clubs, and we got involved with him for Pogba.
You mean that this is when it comes to ironing out a deal with the club?
The deal. So which means he got involved in how could we, without having Champions League football, pay 100 million for Pogba in 2016? We didn't have Champions League football. Pogba came to a club without Champions League, and we made him the most expensive player, 100 million. And his agent took about 20% or 30%.
We were paying exorbitantly, you were saying.
And who's the one who's behind his deals? Ed Woodward. Even Mourinho confessed a few years later that he never wanted Pogba to come to the club. So
Crazy, man.
So it's really bad. So it shows that Woodward was why Woodward want to bring Pogba when Mourinho didn't want him? Simple, because for marketing reasons. Because Pogba is the guy who's marketable. I mean, in the sense of pitch, right?
Also, they were afraid that another club would get him, right? Because he was once United. He was at United, then he went to Juventus.
And then came back to United.
No, he was wanted by Man City at that point of time.
Yeah,
So,
United does this thing.
That's the problem.
Man City wanted Ronaldo, they quickly went and bought him.
I'm not sure Man City wanted him in
Yes,
2015.
yes, I agree.
Okay,
Because
possible.
that time,
Panic buys.
that time there were a few players that wanted to go to Man City, but they what do you call it? They cut through and then they bought. They just give the highest.
They think
bidder.
about that's the thing from outside looking in. I see like they think about winning,
see,
than getting that player.
Even when
But
they got Sanchez also. Sanchez wanted to go to. It's between Man City and United. He also got Sanchez with. Of course, it's a free agent, but then the money they spend on the wages. So just to make it much easier, on the overall, Glazer's right hand man is mostly like from your point of view is Woodward. So Woodward, he has the winning mentality in the sense that even the players is overpriced. He's willing to overprice the players just to make sure that United gets the player. It's not about whether the United needs the player. It's just United gets the player, and of course he will market it out to get back the money back.
True. Yeah.
So that's how the football. That's how the club was run post Ferguson era. So there was a bit of a downfall in that sense.
Yes.
And I think in my personal opinion, all these things really started to change was when we started off with a financial football play.
Oh.
Yeah, the FFP one, that's where it's a game changer. Because when you need to not have a loss for successive 3 seasons. That's where it started to kick off, and I think that was it happened started COVID. I think too. The 2020 season was leeway. Then the following 3 seasons, so that's where United really struggled in getting the players.
Very true. Yes. Yeah.
And that's where the mindset started to change.
Forced to change, right?
So this is where the leadership skills, in the sense that United had to change not because they have to, but they have to
comply,
right? They got no choice, have to follow it, or else they'll be just throwing the big bucks and everything. Yeah, they really, or something which we didn't touch on was Glazers in the background. They were also making out money.
So they need to make money. So it's clever of them. But then, if I was a United fan, I'd be like, what the hell, lah?
Yeah, true. So we reached the Europa League final.
And we lost as usual.
We lost, but that was 12-11. We lost on penalties, man.
Yeah.
That's because David De Gea doesn't know how to take a penalty. The Joker.
Maybe he's a joker.
He's a keeper, bro. It's not his fault.
What about
Some of the keepers can take penalties, bro.
But that's not his job description.
You're saying,
His job description is not to score goals.
But he is kind of a.
you're saying De Gea.
You actually expect De Gea to score.
No, he's saying
No,
De Gea is a
you see-
joke. What about Nana now, Brad?
Yeah.
Bro, he can't 12-11, which means he didn't even save a single penalty. At least scored a penalty, lah.
But bro, yes.
I know. Okay, forget about it.
Hey, don't flip table about it. Yeah, we're talking about Ronaldo, okay?
Okay, so what happened is, we finished second, Europa League final, and Solskjaer, you remember, he took us to deep in the cup competitions. We reached the semi-finals of the League Cup and also FA Cup, I think. And what happened is, the final season of his, we just signed Jadon Sancho, who's our target for the past 2 years. Actually, he was supposed to take over right wing, and we were looking for another, not mistaken, a centre midfield. And that is when suddenly the news came out that Ronaldo was looking for a new club after Juventus. And then suddenly the news came out, City wanted to sign him. And fans started to burn Ronaldo's jersey. And then you all know what happened
Another
next.
burning incident, bro.
That's the trigger of all the bad
That is
decisions.
all about fire, you know, bro.
But to me, I found it ridiculous. So, and of course, back to square one. Remember, we mentioned Ferguson was involved. Again, Ferguson was involved in it. Apparently,
He's a
Ronaldo said,
granddaddy, man.
Ronaldo said he got a phone call from Ferguson convincing him not to go to City, come over to United. Rio Ferdinand also was in charge of that. You
And
see,
United used to do that all the time. Man.
yeah.
Tap players up.
You start that with a superstar player, bro.
Okay, so what happened is this had happened.
He
Prodigal
came
son
back, he scored 2 goals on his debut. His return.
I think just to slow down the pace a bit, Ronaldo, when he came in that time, the players they were buying was quite good. At that point of time, they were getting Sancho.
Now the thing is, what I felt was the team was
Hold
building
on,
very well.
hold on. And then when Ronaldo came in, he was commanding certain things. That time Cavani was having the number 7 shirt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he took the
True,
shirt
true,
over.
very
So
true. I
that was-
agree with you. Yes.
That was quite a
That was quite a bad decision.
quite a moral sapping attitude.
Yeah, because I agree, because you're setting a very bad.
Yeah, example already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're treating Cavani. Cavani is not just a like a normal
Yeah,
player.
he is
He's
a
a top.
Champions
He's
League
literally
winner.
a top player.
Yeah.
And that point of time also Rashford was still growing up. So he was having a very bad example in front of him. So that's where you see
I
the
totally
precedent.
agree.
And I think I'm surprised Ronaldo still took that jersey. He for his experience and
Because
his
of his
caliber,
CR7 branding.
he should know, like, hey, you know what, that's not right.
It started
From
well.
my view, seeing you guys, Ronaldo coming back, I felt okay, exciting for the Premier League. I'm like, wow, United, he's going to break all the goal scoring records again because he's
Yeah,
gonna
on
score
paper
goals.
it looked that way. It looks like he's going to destroy the Premier League again. But then little did we know that it was heading for disaster. Because number one is, actually, if we look back, right, Ronaldo was starting to fade away actually. In Juventus, he couldn't guide them more than, I think, got quarterfinals of the Champions League. He was actually brought in to win a Champions League in Juventus. He didn't do it. And then I heard also he started demanding the players for to play according to his needs and stuff like that.
He was this grantor.
He was actually starting to show signs of actually aging and also becoming a burden to a team.
Actually, what Ronaldo did was when he came to the club, we were actually playing a specific style of play under
Yes,
Ole
he
Gunnar
did,
Solskjaer. Yeah, under Ole Gunnar. So when he came in, he was just demanding all the outlet has to come, everything has to go
Yes,
to him.
very
Player
true.
power. Like,
Yeah, so everything has to
Chelsea
go to
also had that for a while.
Very true.
Drogba
Yes.
and Terry,
I
where
totally agree with that.
the big players actually end up getting the manager sacked because there's just too much power there. Like.
And I also blame Solskjaer for it because as a manager, he said Ronaldo is undroppable or something. That's wrong. He came back.
He actually said that.
Just because he won the Champions League 5 times.
It's probably in his contract, you know.
I
It
think
could be
he's
his
forced to say
contract.
that.
It could be lah,
I
but
believe
that's
he's forced-
wrong.
he's
lah.
forced to
Just
say
because
that.
he's CR7, this doesn't mean he is undroppable. You know?
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't make sense. Like, it's embarrassing to say
But
that.
But
as
it's
a-
funny, the thing is, you look at the ironic part. Being in CR7, you are coming to a club where you know the club is really struggling.
yeah, who said? At that point in time, they were not struggling. They were actually
Yeah, they
when they
were.
challenged for the title. in
They
fact.
were in second position technically, but we were not as what we were. Like when you come to a club,
they weren't a dominant force.
no, when you go into a club, there's When Ronaldo first came in, there's Beckham, there's Scholes, there's all
Yeah.
these
Okay,
Keane,
fair, fair, yeah.
all those players, So when he came in here, there's no star power players that he thinks
Yeah.
that. So he should really understand.
Yeah.
And then when he came in, he demands respect and everything. He needs to be the person to play all the game and all. That is
Yeah.
not right to be for me, because you can be as power as you are, but then the thing is, sometimes you need to be humble also. Because some people when they come, some players when they come in, they try to coach the other players also.
Yeah.
Like players like the time was Rashford was coming through. At least you can be a good mentor.
This is what year again?
2021.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the time we got trashed by Liverpool 5-3 at Old Trafford.
You will being trashed many
Good
times.
times.
Yeah, that was the No, that is the kick starting point. We got really beaten by Liverpool.
Yeah, we never lose. We don't lose the top 4 teams under social at that time.
So that was when, you see, honestly speaking, right, at that point of time, before Ronaldo came, I felt if he did not come, we had brought in a central midfield or whatever, we would have gone on to challenge, have a proper, genuine title challenge. This guy came in, they changed the whole dynamic of the team, alright? Cavani had to be removed, Greenwood couldn't play as a striker, Ronaldo has to be there, blah. Finally, everybody, the atmosphere became so tensed. Solskjaer got
Greenwood
sacked.
went and take out his anger on his girlfriend.
Okay.
Was it an orgy or something like?
I don't know. You're like, I mean, because that could contribute to Greenwood's progression also, what, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Right.
if he could focus on football, you see, Ronaldo comes, he sort of takes away his opportunity to be the striker that is developing.
Yeah, he was developing well.
Actually-
Greenwood is doing so good.
Actually, Ronaldo, he has a good personality traits and all. If he actually could pass it down to the younger players and everyone could just follow
He's
it.
too
Very
selfish.
true.
lah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
he
problem.
just thinks about his legacy, his goals,
Yeah.
his records, his Ballon d'Ors.
Think about Instagram post.
He doesn't care about. If you truly ask him, does he care about United?
No,
When he
no.
came back, was it because he wanted to? The return video, he said, "I want to bring United back to the top" and all that crap.
No, no.
Does he really care? Or like, come on,
That one is just marketing gimmick.
it's
Like, if you
just
ask me.
bullshit. So I feel like that's sad that United had to depend on a legend. Truly, like Ronaldo was like a legend for them, right? And then he came back with no real genuine intention to be like a Giggs or Gary Neville or Scholes. Remember when Scholes came back from retirement,
True.
right? He didn't like say he's the boss. Whatever the team needs me to be, I'll be.
Yeah. So,
See, like whatever the team needs, I'll be there. You want me to like guide the young players? That would be a testament to him if he really cared about United. So nowadays players very hard, and that's why homegrown players, right? That's the one you cannot replace, right?
yes.
So Gary Neville, Scholes, Giggs, Gerrard, Carragher, these players, you no matter what, the best interest of the club is
Comes
there,
first.
Yeah, true.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just to bring it back to the speed lah. So actually during the United's time, United was having struggles and all, and during Solskjaer's time, it was a bit on going upward trend. But then unfortunately, the decision making, with Ronaldo coming in, so that was a bad call lah. So and we are coming back to the same rut again.
Yeah, very true.
Back
Back to square one.
So I think we'll just take a break for a while. And then
Yes.
we'll continue about the current United States, which is
Have a
more hot
recap.
topic.
Alright, so welcome back to a
Okay.
short break for our sponsors to put an advertisement that doesn't exist yet.
We will
Future
look for-
sponsors.
We will look for some future sponsors. Okay, before we continue, I just want to have some quick small quiz lah.
Okay.
Okay, whether we keep or sell United players.
Alright.
So it's just a simple one. No need to have your explanation on why.
Okay.
Just tell a player, you just buy or sell or keep.
Alright, sure.
Okay.
I'm playing too, right?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Yeah. You can sell all the Bruno Fernandes if you want. Okay, number one, Garnacho.
Yes.
Keep.
Keep.
Bruno Fernandes,
Keep.
Patrick Dorgu,
Keep.
Ahmad Diallo,
Keep.
Yellow. Keep. Definitely keep.
Aiden Haven,
Keep.
Keep. Of course, the new side.
Chido Obi Martin.
Keep.
Who's definitely? I don't know this
That's the Arsenal guy as well.
Oh, okay. No comment.
Okay, Joshua Zirkzee,
Keep. For me, I
Sell.
keep it.
sell. Okay. Bobby Mino,
Keep.
Andre Onana,
Keep.
No comment. Buy or keep. Sell or keep, so it doesn't matter for me.
make no difference. Huh?
Feed please.
Okay, his second choice, Binde,
Oh, I would say keep.
Keep. Yeah.
Ireland,
Keep.
Casemiro,
Sell.
So
Too expensive his wages.
Ugarte,
Keep.
Manny Euro,
sell.
Lenny, the new centre back, right? Yeah, Danny has played. I would say keep.
for me as well.
Sell.
Martinez,
Keep.
He just had his ACL done. I would sell him. Sell.
Harry Maguire.
Sell.
He's coming.
Keep.
I'm not a hater of Maguire, but I think it's time for him for a change.
New environment.
Yeah.
Bobby Collier. He's a
Keep.
youth player.
No
Keep.
comment.
Definitely.
Mason Mount, bro.
Sell.
Sell. Back to Chelsea.
Dalot.
Keep.
Dalu, keep lah. Yes.
How about this one? Your favorite player, Luke Shaw.
Sell.
Sell. Waste of money. Delete.
Delete. I would actually sell him because I don't think. I think his cycle, his like progression is getting
He
downward.
doesn't have the legs.
I think he's like a Maguire for United. He's just going that way. He needs to move to another club.
Ashrawi.
Keep.
I think this guy is Harry Abbas. Christian Eriksen.
Sell.
Lindelof.
Sell.
Okay, Johnny Evans.
Sell.
Keep.
Screw you, man.
Could be in a sense. You can never know.
Okay, I think that's about it.
He wants to keep the title winner, bro.
So, Gaps, what do you think about Ineos takeover?
Of course, I think that's the best thing that has happened to us since Sir Alex Ferguson left, because we never had a proper football structure. And they come in, actually, it was not without any much controversies as we can see currently. But I would really admire the decision that they took in hiring our new CEO, Omar Barada, technical director Jason Wilcox, and also Dan Ashworth, who is no longer with us, unfortunately. But I have to highlight that I would still say these three signings are really top notch from Ineos. It shows that they really mean business. And based on why, of course, the interview with Gary Neville between Sir Jim and Gary Neville, the overlap, Sir Jim actually spoke about why Dan Ashworth was actually asked to leave indirectly. Now, apparently, Dan Ashworth was the only one against supporting to keep Ten Hag when the others were actually not wanting Ten Hag to continue. So he chose to allow Ten Hag to stay and also back him up with money, which turned out to be disastrous. A lot of people are questioning why. Why is suddenly United sacking so many staffs and the food meals are removed and all these things? Now I'm going to look at a bit of what Sir Jim actually said. He actually said to Gary Neville, this is what he said. The short-term decisions taken because when he looks at Liverpool, when Jurgen Klopp arrived in 2015, Michael Edwards and Ian Graham were on the data side. From 2015 to 2016 and 17 and 18 is when they was rebuilding their squad under Edwards and Ian Graham, and they achieved their results 2019 onwards. 2019 they won the Champions League, 2020 they won the league title, 2021 trophies. So basically, there was a proper structure there in place to support the manager, and eventually after 3-4 years of investment, trophies came along. So this is
But
where
you could see progression on the pitch there. Right? Even though they were not challenging for title when Klopp came in, you
there
could
was
see
progression.
a footballing
Correct.
style being implemented, and it's sort of working because that's
Correct.
what the fans will hang their hat on.
Exactly.
Right now, I don't think United fans have anything to hang their hat on.
Correct. This is why I really believe that Sir Jim and the Ineos team wanted Ten Hag to be out because they wanted to kickstart with a new manager.
Yeah, welcome back to this United quiz. It's based on between 2013 to 2023.
Alright, sure.
Alright, so just whoever answers first. In which season did Manchester United win their first trophy after Ferguson's retirement?
2015.
Pause.
2015.
2017?
FA Cup.
Fapes, got it correct. 2016-2017 season.
Oh.
2 points.
Ooh.
Next question. That was a tough one.
Yeah, tough one, bro.
Which player won the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year award the most times between 2013 and 2023?
Myself.
Yeah.
What was your answer?
De Gea.
But Gibbs was
2
2
points.
points. David De Gea. Fourth question. Who scored the winning goal in the 2016 FA Cup final against Crystal Palace?
Jesse Lingard.
2 points. Okay, Fabes got to catch up. In which season did Manchester United finish second in the Premier League under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
2021.
2 points. Which former United player was appointed as interim manager after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer
Ryan
was
Giggs.
sacked in 2021?
Sorry, Michael Carrick.
Who?
Michael Carrick.
After the sun was Michael Carrick, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
Manchester United won the Europa League in 2017 under Jose Mourinho.
Correct.
Which team did they defeat in the final?
PSV.
Forgot that, bro.
PSV and the one.
Wrong.
Okay.
No.
Uh,
Sevilla?
no. Wait, ah.
3, 2, 1. Ajax. No
Oh,
Ajax,
then.
are you?
points. Who was Manchester United's top goal scorer in all competitions during the 2022-2023 season?
Ronaldo.
Rashford.
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 Ronaldo.
No, I simply, bro.
In 2023,
I know Rashford.
2023, Eric Ten Hag guided Manchester United to their first domestic trophy in 6 years.
Liga.
Which competition did you win?
Wake up.
You're not supposed to answer before you finish.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. During the 2021-22 season, Manchester United suffered their worst Premier League defeat in 7-0. Which team did you win?
Liverpool. You put 3 points for that.